time to feed the viewers on an early morning. They want their content. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Mornings. Another beautiful day, by the way. Hope y'all 5 senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. Yeah. Alright, what do we got here? Let's see here. Wine 11.0 release with many improvements for Windows games and apps on Linux. As expected, Wine 11.0 stable was officially released today. This is a big step forward for this open source software to run Windows games and applications on Linux and other platforms. Wine also serves as the base for Valve's Steam Play Proton that has been critical to recent success of Linux gaming. Wine 11.0 brings NT-Sync support when running on recent versions of Linux kernel. The new WoW64 mode is stable, exclusive full screen mode support, better Wine Wayland driver support, Vulkan improvement, various other gaming enhancement like better joystick and gamepad support. Wine 11.0 is a big step forward for running more modern Windows software on Linux. More details on Wine 11.0 features highlight can be found in yesterday's article. Wine 11.0 serves as an annual timed stable release in building of the Wine 10.xx bi-weekly development release of the past year. Alright. And it says here Wine 11.0 can be downloaded from winehq.org. Alright, let's see what they did. Let's see what Wine did this go around. Alright, okay, alright. Let's see what they did. Ready? Alright, so what's new in Wine? Okay, WoW64. Says here the new WoW64 mode that was first introduced as experiment features in Wine 9.0 is considered fully supported and essentially as featured parity with the old WoW64 mode. It says 16-bit applications are supported in the new WoW64 mode. It is possible to force an old WoW64 installation to run in new WoW64 mode by setting the variable wine arc equal WoW64. This requires the prefix to have been created as 64-bit, the default. Then it says the 32-bit prefix create with wine arc equal wine win32 are deprecated and are not supported in new WoW64 mode. It says the Wine 64 loader binary is removed in favor of a single Wine loader that select the correct mode based on the binary being executed. For binary that have both 32-bit and 64-bit version installed, its default to 64-bit. The 32-bit version can then be launched with an explicit path, e.g. Wine. So that's C:2/ window 2/ again system64 //notepad.exe. Now synchronization and threading. Says here the NT-Sync Linux kernel module is used when available to improve the performance of synchronization primitive. The needed kernel module is shipped with the Linux kernel starting from version 6.14. Thread priority changes are implemented on Linux and Mac OS on Linux. This is constrained by the system NICE limit, and current distribution requires some configuration to change the NICE hard limit to a negative value. Then in parentheses it says in the -19 range where a -5 is usually enough and anything lower is not recommended. Then it says see manlimit.conference from more information. It says NTDLL synchronization barriers are implemented. Then it says on Mac OS the %GS register is swapped in the system call dispatcher. This avoids conflicts between Windows tabs and the Mac OS thread descriptor. Now for kernel. says here NT reparse points are implemented with support for the mount point Symlink types of reparse. Right watches takes advantage of user fault FTD on Linux, FD on Linux if available, to avoid the cost of handling page fault in user space. Then it says NT system calls use the system call numbering as recent Windows to support application that hardcore system call numbers. On ARM64 there is support for simulating a 4K page size on top of a large host page, and then in parentheses says typical 16K or 64K. This works for a simple application because it is not possible to complete hide the difference. More demanding application may not work correctly. Using a 4K page kernel is strongly recommended. Alright, now for graphics. Says here the OS Mesa dependency is removed and OpenGL bitmap rendering is implemented with the hardware accelerated OpenGL runtime. It says the EGL OpenGL backend is extended and used by default on X11 platform. The GLX backend is deprecated but remains available and is used as a fallback. If EGL isn't available, it can also be forced by setting the value use EGL equal N in the HKCU /software/wine/X11 driver registry key. And then it says here the VK KHR external memory Win32, and then VK KHR external semaphore Win32, then VK KHR external fence Win32, VK KHR Win32 keyed, and then mute X. Then it says extension and the related D3D KMT APIs are implemented. Then it says it's in new WOW64 mode. OpenGL buffers are mapped to 32-bit memory space using Vulkan extension if available. Front buffer OpenGL rendering is emulated for platforms that don't support it natively. OpenGL context sharing implementation in WGL shared list is improved. The Vulkan API version 1.4.335 is supported. Image metadata handling is better supported in Windows codec. Then it says many more conversions between various pixel formats are supported in Windows codec. Says here desktop integration. X11 Windows Manager integration is improved. Windows activation requests are sent to the Windows Manager, and the EWMH protocol is used to keep the X11 and the Win32 active Windows consistent. And it says exclusive full screen mode is supported, and D3D full screen mode is improved, especially improving older D-Draw games. Shape and color key windows are supported in experimental Wayland driver. Performance of several windowing related function is improved using shared memory for communication between process. Then it says clipboard support is implemented in the Wayland driver. Input methods are supported in Wayland driver. Now for for Direct3D. Says here hardware decoding of H.264 video through Direct3D 11 video APIs is implemented over Vulkan video. Note that the Vulkan renderer must be used. As in previous Wine version, the Vulkan renderer can be used by setting our renderer to Vulkan using Direct3D registry key or Wine space D3D space config environment variable. Direct3D 11 sampler minimum/maximum reduction filtering is implemented if GL space ARB space texture space filter space min-max is available when using GL renderer, or VK space extension space sampler space filter space min max when using the Vulkan renderer. And it says the following legacy direct 3D features are implemented for the Vulkan renderer. It says here point size control, point sprite control, vertex blending, fixed function bump mapping, color key in draws, flat shadings, alpha tests, user clip planes, several resource format. Then it says additionally the bundle copy of VKD3D shader includes many improvements for shaders model 1, 2, and 3 shaders, including notably support for shader model 1 pixel shader and basic shader model 1 texturing. The Vulkan renderer is not yet at parity with the GL renderer and is therefore not yet the default. Alright, now for Direct3D helper libraries, it says D3DX save surface to file in memory, that's one word, is implemented for PNG, JPEG, and BMP files, enabling support for format and other edge cases not supported by Windows codec. It also supports saving surface to Targa files, that's T-A-R-G-A. Says here D3DX11 texture loading functions are implemented using code shared with earlier D3DX version. Box filtering is supported in all version. Then it says D3DX save texture to file memory, one word, supports saving textures to DDS files. D3DX9 supports reading 1-bit, 2-bit, and 4-bit index pixel format, as well as the C, uppercase C, lowercase s, V, 8UA format. And because it's the C, lowercase x, uppercase V, and 8, uppercase U, and 8 format. It says here D3DX10 and 11 support compressing and decompressing BC4 and BC5 format. Then it says D3DX10 and 11 support generating mipmap level while loading textures. Then it says ID3DXE ID3DX effect, that's one word, then two quotes. Then it says set raw value, then two brackets. And it says is partially implemented. It says ID3DX skin info, and then update skinned mesh brackets is implemented. And now for input/HID device. It says here compatibility with more joystick device is improved through the Hydra backend. That's HIDRAW backend per vendor and per device registry. Options are available to selectively opt into the Hydra backend. Force feedback support is improved with increased compatibility for joysticks, driving wheels, and better performance. Better support for gamepads in the Window Gaming Input API with the EVDev backend when SDL is not available or disabled. Then it says there is a configuration tab for Windows Gaming Input API in the Game Controller Control Panel applet. It says direct input compatibility with older games that use action maps and device semantics is improved. More device enumeration APIs from Windows Device Enumeration and CFG MGR32 are implemented. Yeah, wine. Now for Bluetooth. It says here the Bluetooth driver support scanning and configuring host device discoverability with some basic support for pairing via both the API and the wizard. At this point, this is only supported on Linux system using BlueZ. says Bluetooth radios and device, both classic and low energy, are visible to Windows application. Says your application can make low-level RF-COM connection to remote device using WinSock APIs. There is initial support for Bluetooth Low Energy BLE generic attribute profile, and that's GATT service and characteristics, making them visible through Win32 BLE APIs. Now for scanner support, says here DAT, that's DAT, image image native Xfer is supported. Scanner selection and configuration are saved in the registry. T-Wayne 2.0 API for scanning is implemented, which allows scanning to work in 64-bit application. Multi-page and automatic document feeds scans are supported. There is a user interface showing scanning progress and errors message. The scanner user interface no longer blocks the application using it. Windows native scanner driver can be loaded if they're installed in Wine. Alright, now for multimedia. The multimedia streaming library implements a custom allocator for direct draw streams, reducing the number of buffer copies required for filter, which supports a downstream custom allocator. Dynamic format change is supported in the DMO wrapper AVI decoder and a GStreamer base demuxer and transform filter. It says GStreamer base demuxer filter supports the Indio 5.0 codec. Direct sound renderer filter more properly signaled end of stream. Previously, end of stream could be signal too early, clipping the end of an audio stream. The ASF renderer filter supports seeking. The AVI decoder filter supports non-trivial source and destination rectangles. Yeah, they put a lot of work into this. That's for sure. Anyway, now for direct music, let's see what they did here. Says here, Sound Fonts SF2 support more features, parsing of preset instrument and default modulator. Layering support requires for many SF2 instruments. Rules of download waves and zero copy access sample data to prevent out of memory error. Instrument normalization. The synthesizer is improved. The latency clock is derived from the master clock to fix uneven playback in certain tracks. Voice shutdown is instant, and synth buffer handles channel pressure event and LFO connection. Setting the volume is supporting and is automatically done when creating a synth or adding a port. It says the DX version of the style form is supported. Cache management improvement in the loader, and more MIDI meta events are supported. Yeah, it's a lot. Alright, now for mono /.net /WinRT, what did they do here? Let's see it. They say XNA4 application runs based on SDL3 and renderer using new SDL GPU API by default. And it says a text layout engine supporting system Windows document APIs is added to WPF Windows presentation framework. And it says the theming works in Windows Forms. WinRT metadata files can be generated by WIDL, and it says WIDL, and there is an initial implementation of the loader classes. WinRT C++ exceptions are supported. Yeah. And now for internalization. It says here locale data is generated from Unicode CLDR database, version 48. The following edition locales are supported. And then it has what they have here. They got BQI-IR and BUARUCOPEG, HT lowercase, H-HT uppercase. And then they have the KEK, GT, LZZTR, MWW, HMNP, yeah, US, OKA, CA, PI, Latin, GB, and then PMS, IT, SGS, LT, SUS, DIVA, NP, and SUS, SUNU-NP. Yeah, it says the Unicode characters are based on version 7.0 of the Unicode standard. The time zone data is based on version 2025 of the IANA time zone database. Then it says Internet and Network. It says MSHTML exposed DOM attributes as proper DOM nodes in standard compliant mode. JavaScript type arrays are supported. MS-HTML object DOM parser, X-domain requests, and MS crypto are implemented. Ping is implemented for ICMPv6. And it says for database, the MSADO support writing change to a database. Most of the MSADO record set functions are implemented. And then it says ODBC remap Unicode strings to ANSI only Win32 driver. And then for debugging, PDB file launcher in the DBGH help is re-implemented to support large files. Then in parentheses it has the greater sign, and then 4G, faster loading and use fewer memory resource. Then it says NT system call can be traced with the wine debugs equals syscall, unlike wine debug equals relay. This is transparent to applications and avoids breaking application that hooks system call entry points. It is possible to generate both DWARF and PDB debug information in a single build. And then for bulletin application, it says the audio lab of the Wine CFG allows configuring the default MIDI device. The command prompt tool CMD can create reparse points with mklink and /i and display them in directory listing. It says here the command prompt tool CMD supports more complex instruction and file names auto completion in interactive prompt. It says the console hosting application, ConHost support F1 and F3 keys for history retrieval. The timeout application is implemented. The find tool support option / C displays math count and /I case insensitive matches. The WOM-I tool support output format specifier. There is a basic implementation of the subsets command. There is an initial implementation of the run as tool. And then for miscellaneous, common control version and version 6 are fully separated. DLLs and V6 only features are removed from the V5 DLL for better compatibility. PBK DF2 keys derivation algorithm is supported in bcrypt. The well-known shell folder user program file account pictures and screenshots are supported. And then it says development tools. The ideal compiler can generate Windows runtime metadata files, and parentheses WinMD with the --WinMD option. The wine dump tool support dumping MUI resource, syscall number, embedded and E modules, and larger PBD files. Then in parentheses is the greater sign in 4G. It says wine/Unix lib.h header is installed as a part of the development package as a first step towards supporting use of the Unix lib interface in third-party modules. This is still a work in progress. And then it says build infrastructure. It says the X11 derives install space sh script is re-implemented in C to enable installing several files in a single program. Invocation. This speeds up the file copying phase of make an install by an order magnitude. Compiler exceptions are used to implement space try/space except blocks when built with Clang for 64-bit MSVC targets. The Wine HQ GitLab CI supports ARM64 builds. And then for bundled libraries, it says the LLVM compiler RT runtime library version 8.0.1 is bundled and used when building a module in MSVC mode. The TomCrypt library version 1.18.2 is bundled and used to implement cryptographics primitive in the RSA ENH and bcrypt modules. And then it says VKD3D is updated to the upstream release 1.8. Fadio is updated to the upstream release 25.12. Fluid Synth is updated to upstream release 2.4.2. LCMS2 is updated to upstream release 2.17. libmpg123 is updated to the upstream release 1.33.0. libping is updated to upstream release 1.6.51. and libtiff is updated to upstream release 4.7.1. libxml2 is updated to upstream release 2.12.10. and libxsit is libxsit is updated to upstream release 11.43. And then it says external dependencies. The OS Mesa library is no longer used. OpenGL bitmap rendering is implemented using EGL instead. Then it says the HW lock library is used for CPU detection on FreeBSD. Yeah, there. So your Wine 11.0. So yeah, you wine lovers on your Steam Deck, on your Orange Pi Steam Deck, laptop, desktop servers. Yeah, there. That should hold you for now. For now. How long it took me? 28 minutes? Yeah, that was a long one. But I went through it. So yeah. So another Wine 11.0 is out. And indulge yourself, guys. Indulge. So we only got one comment here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, from Phoronix. Yeah. Who is this? Someone says here, this wine version in my case. And then he put an emoji on it. Anyway, so yeah, you guys are good, man. You and your wine updates. You and your wine updates. So that should help you in all aspects of your Linux gaming, whether you're on your in all aspects of Linux for now. For now, of course there will be more updates after this. So yeah, I'll keep you guys in the loop, but had to get through it. So it will help you for now until the next update in Wine. And it's always games are Windows is always being updated, of course. So You know, the Wine developers have to match the speed of Windows and keep updating it and keep coming out with new, fix what they got to fix, repair what they have to repair, and then keep coming out with newer version to keep up with the times and demands of tech. So yeah, but that should hold you for now. So this reading that I just did was a prelude of things to come with the Linux kernel. I think what's that, 6.19 that's coming in February. So yeah, I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. But for now, you guys are good. So you hear from me again anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye for now.